All right, everyone. We are going with Game 1 into Sky Temple. And just need to get the lobby link. Wait a minute. I really hope that I'm saying here and that it is first pick for the babies on board, and it is map pick for the Running Wild. To start the bingo sheet early. Yeah. One. Yeah. This is my first malformed attempt at a cast. I expect to make many mistakes, and I expect people to make fun of my opposite day syndrome. That is something that is entirely acceptable. We have an absolute clash between these two teams. On the hand of babies on board, we've got everyone from Porky to Mockery. And wait, where is Mockery? Wait, hold on a second. I've got Crushinator on the wrong side. Why do I have Crushinator on the wrong side? Sweet. Mockery's on the way. So, we have two teams, both of them veterans. However, Babies on Board has disassembled and reassembled as the seasons go. It includes Cal Ferguson, Cavalier Guess, Porky 30K, Crushinator, and the esteemed Tracer One Trick Mockery. On the other hand, we have Running Wild, a team that last season managed to single-handedly increase their win rate by like 25% in one season. They did extremely well in Nexus back in Season 12, which is, the last season. And they have been an underdog team that has taken victories where they were on the back foot the entire time. This is a clash between players who are extremely skilled individuals and extremely prominent in Storm League. But if their previous series against LTK Rock Bottom, right? The previous season against their previous match against LTK Rock Bottom, however, was a pretty decisive defeat. LTK Rock Bottom seemed the more coordinated of the two, even if the individual players on Baby on Board appear to be highly skilled individually. In contrast, Running Wild is a team that works well together, but no individual player stands out particularly much. They're all good players, not to disparage them. They're in Nexus Division after all, but they are facing up against a team that includes several multi-time Grandmasters. If they want to win, this is a battle between individual skill and collective teamwork. What is going to happen? Honestly, I have no idea. It's all dependent on Mockery and his eloquent baritone voice to grace this lobby. We are currently 9 out of 10 for people, and we will start whenever they are ready. Alright. I'm going to check out on some stuff, and I'm going to fill some time. If you are new to NGS as of this season and are looking forward to seeing some new and interesting matches. I highly recommend the one that I'm about to plug in chat. I should be able to get this in a few seconds. Wono asks, who voluntarily picked Sky Temple? I have questions. Frankly, it's running wild. I don't know why. We shall see. This is going to be very interesting. It is going to be one of those games where you're not quite sure what's going to happen until you see the draft. Anyways, I do want to plug Hosty Fraughts matchcast between Running Wild and Match Ready. This is one that I think embodies them as a team. They are very good at making comeback plays, and I hope to see something like that today. Okay. Where is Mr. Deep Voice? Mockery. I need to see the tracer. Okay. We don't quite have an update yet, but we got plenty of time before anything happens. Yes. We have a quote. You heard it here first from Crushinator. Give me 5 minutes, about 7 minutes ago. That is how it always goes. Five minutes is one of those stretches of time that can, last like 10 Dragon Ball Z episodes. You know how it is. Time doesn't work. It's all arbitrary. It's all meaningless. Anyways, out of Running Wild, we have a number of very interesting portraits. Almost 3 of them are on gray main portraits. 2 of them appear to be openly defiant of team regulations. Kairu's probably going to have to get strict on them. Hey, apparently Mockery's voice has emerged. The deep one has emerged. Alright. I can't believe we have people who are willing to listen to me gab and ramble on and on about virtually nothing, but we do, which is fascinating. Calkin, glad to see your support as usual. Wono, good to see you as well. We will have a game eventually, I swear. I promise. And what else is there to talk about? Oh, yeah, right. There's this little thing called map bans. So, out of the side of Baby on Board, we see Volskaya and Ultra, both of which are very deceptive maps in the sense that the objectives appear to be highly valuable, but there is more value to be gained elsewhere. Out of Running Wild, we see, in contrast, they have banned both of the 2-lane maps. Maps that are notorious for being really weird in what kinds of comps you can get away with. Braxis, Genji is a fair pick on that map. Battlefield of Eternity, I've seen triple bruiser nonsense, Rhaegar off lane. Like, there's a lot you can do on both of those maps. So, what we have left as a selection are most of the ones that, are just sort of typical maps. Other than Towers of Doom, of course, which is another one of those maps that you can get some really weird shit. Okay. Alright, I've got a fascinating anecdote about Welshmen from Cavalier Guest. I'm... Cav, I'm not sure. That can't go on screen. Okay, we have a allowance from Crushinator. Praise be to him. Once upon a time, Welshmen invented a birth control method of putting a sheep intestine over their privates to prevent pregnancy. 200 years later, the English refined the invention by taking the sheep intestine out of the sheep first. The end. Oh god. Oh god, that is simultaneously crude and it is simultaneously racist. Kalkin asks, the four-man of Battlefield Eternity with 2 Greymane DPS. Hey, wait, Kalkin, what are you doing more scouting than I actually did for this? Get out of here, man. Like, that's actually a good point, and Grey Color is invading my lobby? Okay, so, long and short, yeah, that's actually really fair. Greymane is quite good on... Wait, you're talking about BOB? Huh. Baby's on board. Yeah, I suppose so. Mockery is launching. It's official. The Tracer One Trick lives. Okay, Crushinator also gave me a... Hey, there's the Mockery. The Deep One is here. Praise be to Mockery, the Tracer One Trick. Now the captains are at the top of the list. Just looks better this way, honestly. Oh, yeah. Oh. No. Hey, there he is! Mockery has arrived. Alright, we have... Running Wild is ready. Now it becomes a question of whenever Baby on Board wants to be ready. We are going into the match. And let's be... Alright, in a few seconds we are going to have our UI do its job. And we are going to see some bans today. As you can see, this UI of mine is not that good. It's kind of bare bones. I kind of feel embarrassed about it, but it'll work. Now then, what are we going to see for bans here? Come on. Come on. Give me something interesting. I suck. Oh, there's the Greymane ban. I guess they're just not... I guess they're not going to run wild. And there it is. There it is. Peace has been accomplished. Mockery's skill level has been correctly brought down by the removal of Tracer. Absolutely fantastic. They are going to leave so many champions open. We might actually see Cavalier Guest try out his Johanna offlane again. Thank you, Kalkin. I'm going to modulate game sound by about 20%. Tell me how it is. And we have the Rhaegar first pick. Kyle Ferguson takes the Rhaegar. This leaves Running Wild with the options of either Stukov or Johanna. Both. Oh, wait, no, they banned the Johanna. It leaves them the options of Stukov, any of the global champions, Falstad, Brightwing, Dahaka. That is part of what I expected. I don't think that's a Blaze main tank. I think that's Blaze off lane. I think we're about to see something interesting on the part of Running Wild, but I have been sworn to secrecy about it, so I'm not going to say anything. If that's the case, then this means that... Ooh, that is a Hogger pick. That means Cavalier Guest is most certainly looking to be a camp-taking machine, and the Anubarak really opens the door for some high-quality picks. But taking Anubarak raw, utterly unknown of what the enemy DPS are going to be, is a risky proposition. Hanzo's been banned out. They are looking to choke Mockery more. And Varian has been banned out. That is extremely interesting, and I wonder what the rationale is. Alright then. Here comes the moment of truth. The team comp for Running Wild is about to take shape.
Victory!
Verd on Sylvanas, and Elixia on Falstad. This is going to mean what I think it means. Kairu is likely going to be breaking out the main tank, and they're trusting Verd as a Sylvanas Piper carry. Tychus.
It's about damn
That is a
time.
very interesting pick into what's about to happen, but it's going to be difficult into Blaze and potentially Muradin. That Jaina blow-up and follow-through potential on the Anubarak is going to be very scary, especially because Vostukov doesn't have cleanse. So much of this game's pressure is now put straight onto Alexia's shoulders. There is going to have to be some high-quality gusts post-20 in order to keep this lineup off. And there it is, Garrosh. Not the tank I was expecting to see, but entirely possible to manage the situation. Final word, I think the side of Running Wild is better at pushing and split pushing, but the side of Baby on Board is almost certainly far stronger when it comes to actually clearing out the camps and the waves themselves. I think both teams have excellent potential for killer picks, but the Garrosh pick is a good countermeasure to the Rhaegar. Those two champions interact in ways that are quite painful. Garrosh is often a good countermeasure to more conventional cleanses, as his isolation, can't really be cleansed. The Blaze really could potentially make Crushinator's job incredibly hard. If he has to watch two angles at once, there are some very realistic chances of just getting outflanked and stunned and then killed. However, the damage lineup is pretty heavily hybridized, favoring spell damage, so Anubarak's going to probably have a good time. Actually, yeah, Kalkin, thinking about the slows, we could just see the Garrosh not do anything. Anubarak does have the edge. It really comes down to how good the Indomitabilities are. Anyways, we are swapping. That's right. Yep, there we go. And we have the overlay. Alright. Mockery coming out with some really mean remarks. And we have a lot of things. As I've mentioned, Mockery and Porky are the primary DPSs on Tychus and Jaina. Tarrasque on Rhaegar. Crushinator on Anu. Cavalier Guest on Hogger. And Verd and Kairu, as well as Mr. Executive, are looking to cheese bot lane. Alexia on Falstad is also going topside. Grits is heading straight mid. I think he's looking to stall it out right here. I think they're wise to it. But he couldn't get in. They're going to get punished for this in a few seconds. Executive cheat stalls that out, but he is... good. Oh, the throw comes out. Is everybody living? Everybody lives. Free chip, and everybody lives. Absolutely fantastic. Kyra stepping up to the globe. This is going to be a weird land now. It's just sort of a three-man bottom. Too scared to step up to the globe. Thrust goes in. Slow is going to let him get out. Now Kyra is taking some chip from Mockery. Meanwhile, there's not much happening in these lanes. This is a very unusual format. It's a 1-1-3 from both teams. They're both going almost immediately to their siege camps. So they're just going to trade, and it becomes very much now a test of who's faster on the clear. Cavaliers looking to skirmish. And an invade without a cause to fight over. That is something I haven't seen in a long time. Cavalier Guest is going to use his Spinjitzu on the mercenary camp. Interesting way to do it up. He is absolutely Beyblading. Kyrie on the camp along with Elixia. That means that there's nobody here to soak, and Grits is going bot side. Kairu's compensating for the soak now. They are getting free clear on the side of VOB down here. It means that Grits is likely going to be trapped in here. Mockery's immediately going for the clear. We're already starting to see a slight difference in soak. Now, when it comes to talents, we have some interesting choices. Body check is a potential countermeasure for Ancestral. It's just a % damage build Sylvanas. That helps some of the hybridization problems. It's the AoE build on Stukov. And it's Q build on Falstad. It looks like the camp crashes early on the side of BOB, meaning that they're not going to get much more than half the power out of it. But really, that's all they need if they want to contest this temple. Kyra stepping up for the point. And the soak is going back. They're actually doing an excellent job here. They are being really aggro. And Tasha intermittent stun is forced to throw charge out. And the Stukov silence is down. This is going to be incredibly hard to stop. Crushinator's on the flank though. This is likely going to catch someone. LX not to go in. Now the question becomes, what do the offliners do? Do they contest over the different point while their team fights over this? Kairu's super aggro. Looks like Crushinator's gone for a Beetle Underking build. Meanwhile, Jane has gone for what looks to be an Echo's Q build. So we might see Water Elemental. Run Wild opting to pass away. They're worried about those flanks. Unfortunately, ooh, and there goes Kyra. Now they really have to back out. Offlaners are still opting to double soak. At this point, it is likely going to be necessary for them to rotate down, but they are being seen, and Porky is looking to control that vision. Running Wild faces a very real risk of losing this fort early if they do not respond to a potential push from top side. Rich is there, sort of acting as a pseudo-tank while Kairu isn't available, but yeah, this push could go very wrong. Kairu shows in lane. That means that they're going to be looking for pressure. Rich is getting hit, but an excellent kill from the Stukov keeps things alive. Kyle Ferguson has stepped onto the point, and they are taking some of these shots. Elixia tanks a bit of Sylvanas damage. Kairu just keeps on hitting the shots. As it is, this is looking like it'll be a very Pyrrhic victory on the side of BOB. This match isn't quite over, but there is a slight difference in damage. And both teams immediately get onto their camps. Grits is just barely going to make it thanks to Kairo's heal. Hot dang. That's really impressive. This combination of Stukov and Garrosh, I didn't think about it before, but Garrosh is effectively acting as cleanse for this team. We'll see how long that holds up. It's pretty high intensity work. and it's going to give a lot of pressure. Anyways, as for talents, Tychus has taken Relentless Soldier, making him top. Oh, random task, Hanzo was banned. Alright, alts are coming out. Hortapult on the side. Volan Grits is fine. Volan Grits is not fine. Oh my word. What a fight for that. Grits is going to just barely make it out. So, we have Insensible Healing, we have Odin, Water Elemental, as predicted, Cocoon. All of these are really quite excellent. We have Gust. Decimate is unexpected. Bunker, Wailing Arrow. This is interesting. We have a Garrosh that's really opting for more of a soft CC build. Bird is going to have to hit Karth eventually, but Elixir is forced to Tears, so that they are needed for this push. Oh my word. There's a lot going on in chat right now, and there's a lot going on. As it is, it's likely going to be that this fort falls eventually. It leaves Running Wild with a difficult choice to make. Do we contest this? Down a man.
My magic flows.
They can probably get away with it due to Gust.
Guardian.
But if they skirmish and if they can pin any people here, they might be able to get value elsewhere. They're looking for a pick on Cavalier here. This could go very wrong for him, but it looks like Executive has been caught out. And I don't even know what just happened with Cavalier, but it looked like he just followed that. Like, that bounce just sort of followed the direction of the Stuka. That was really good. They're immediately going for boss call, and we have light spikes. Ah, yes. Truly something that we were not expecting. Alright, I'll add that to the bingo. They're taking the boss here, but Running Wild isn't hesitating. They are just going, and they're looking to do as much trading as possible. It's going to be rough for them topside, though. They are immediately being responded to. Bot side is likely lost. Kairu is isolated from the rest of the team. Ritz is probably making it out alive here. Oh, that was thick. It's perfect. As it is, it's looking like the Temple and this boss will be going... Well, the boss is already going, but the Temple is going to go to Baby on board. Porky's starting the camp. Not hesitating to put up the pressure, and Cavalier is picking up the pieces of what happened topside. Bird just barely out of the effective engagement range, and we've got a chase towards Cairo, and it looks like they're just barely going to make it out. Everyone. That multi-focus bit was insane. Grits uses the charge to escape. Augur is actually outflanking here. It's looking like Grits is going to have to use Bunker in order to escape. It's going to be rough. It's a risk of flanking. Always is. And they're putting on the pressure, taking the camp. It's going to be extremely difficult to take on Augur, and they decide to yield. Honestly, they had to, due to the fact that Sylvanas was gone. Builds here, we see more and more of a sort of remorseful style build. Neil's still coding, in addition to Relentless Soldier and Odin. He is really looking to have lots of armor. This is a beetle build, through and through. I haven't seen that in a while. We've got Pummel out of Augur and Wellspring. Very conventional Rhaegar build. Oh! Crushinator just barely makes it out. Looks like Bird is next. What did I just watch? Executive from the flank takes out a Jaina. Honestly, Stukov has the wrong role. Stukov is a mage. A freaking melee assassin. A melee mage. Absolutely brutal damage potential. But it is a 2-for-1 trade on the side of Baby on board. And they've got a lot of pressure going here. And we've got 2 temples. If you're on Running Wild, because boss is still completely gone, you want to go for the topside temple because it'll also quickly kill this. However, it looks like they're instead opting to invade. They're just going to be slightly too late in order to make this work. Oh, Cavalier misses the stun. Porky is going to get thrown. And Porky has been brutally murdered by this insane 5-man invade. That is what I would like to call a Cascade special. But let's be honest here, Cascade didn't invent this. Running it down. But after all of that, this temple just barely is finished. There's a 16 disadvantage, and Running Wild is down a keep. It's going to be hard for them to recover from this position because this fort still has its gate. There's a very real chance of it surviving here. They're looking for a fight, but it is down 20. It is going to be incredibly risky for them to make any more additional plays. It's looking like Baby on Board is hunting. Looks like it's time for the counter invade. But they're walking through the minion wave, so they are known. Rushinator with a blind charge. And Drask nearly gets thrown over the wall, just barely survives it. Gigantic burst coming out. And Grit with the stun. Oh. And Sylvanas drops on the other side. Grit makes it out with the bunker. Kyrie was just barely alive. But it's looking like this is going to be a team wipe here. Mr. Executive just barely makes it out. Crushinator's running away. Capture the camp. Hawker's trying to mount up, but Elixia is hunting. Cavalier's doomed. There is nothing he can do from this position, and boss is up. This is what they needed. It is going to be incredibly tense for the next couple of minutes, but it's totally possible for Running Wild to recover. Elixia flying in. Verd is making a beeline, and honestly, I don't think they have enough DPS to take the boss of time. It's going to be rough. Crushinator with pick. Maybe that'll force out the Burrow charge. Absolutely brutal damage. The DPS are coming. Grits realizes that he needs to get there. Crushinator's isolated. And he just barely gets it off. The boss falls due to the... Oh! And the Gust just barely lets Executive walk away.
Soon they shall fall.
An absolutely brutal fight, and it's unfortunate. Just a few more seconds, and that play wouldn't have had to happen. Now the question becomes, do you risk putting yourself on the temple? You've got 2 down, but you can't afford to take any more damage. Rick instead is looking to opt towards rotating and catching Soak. It's going to be brutal, because it's very, very likely that they're going to lose out on another keep here. Elixia is looking to off Soak. I'm thinking the plan is to use that Z, come back in. It's going to be very necessary in a minute. Elixia is coming down now, but the vision is entirely in the favor of Baby on Board here. It's entirely possible that they're going to get ambushed from the flank. Elixia gets nuked. Bird is stunned. Blaze is put into the cocoon. Kairu is distracting everything. And Cavalier and Verd are just trading. Verd just gets dogged by. Wait, Grit manages to just down Mockery. At the same time, Cavalier gets it spinning to win. Only 2 people have died. Porky is probably next. Porky just desperately running. But they've only got their tanks. Oh, and that bank. Oh. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That freaking stun, whatever it's called, thump on Hogger, it just caught the Blaze stun mid-air and completely nullified any chance of making a 3v2 play there. Now the situation becomes quite uncertain. They can't end, but they don't need to yet. Cavalier Guest thinks he's Sylvanas, I think? Like, that was a bit reckless. Random task. Varian was also banned here. It seems like Baby on Board was fully aware that they were going to get Tychus here. Their bans were pretty bloody smart. Now the camps come out. The very real risk, however, of them coalescing for this invade. The question is, will we see a repeat of last time? It's very possible. Porky is showing here. Kairu knows where Porky is. The vision advantage lies with running wild this time. And then they just go in. Odin's popped already. Cavalier gets on the backline and is using no control. They have to down him quickly. 3-man Epicenter's done. And 2 members of the team are dead. Bird jumps in. Bolts of the Storm out. And nearly gets taken out by the Odin. Bird is hearthing. Crushinator misses, but Kairu is about to die. And they might end it proper. That would be a bit much, but it's totally possible. It's just the DPS left. Porky's doing that damage. And the healing is just coming in too fast. And that is game 1. Like, Control Alt S. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, I don't know how to use that UI, it looks like. Alright. Game 1 goes straight to the side of Babies on Board. Okay. Let's update our things. Let's get that red victory on the screen. And we are going to be live for Series 2 in a bit. Once you know what, I probably should close all those Google Chrome tabs just for everybody's viewing pleasure, just so that I am not trolling everyone with low FPS. 50 Google Chrome tabs. Very nice, very nice. One more thing to add to the bingo collection. All right. Random task, Kalkin. I would love to hear your thoughts and anybody else's thoughts on the game while we are waiting for Lobby 2. My word. That was an epic loading screen. Alright then. What are my teams up to? I may or may not have abandoned Kafka here. Actually, random task, I definitely agree. Garrosh sad. Those slows and those percent damage bits definitely would have made Kairu's life extremely difficult. I mean, they weren't forced into it, they just didn't see it coming. Like, what's the order on that? I'd have to rewatch it, but since they have first pick, they don't get last pick. That means, was the Tychus? Was the Tychus last pick? I could have sworn the Tychus was last pick there. Ugh, don't look at that. Oh yeah, the Blaze definitely did a lot to minimize the effectiveness of the Tychus, but those fights were chaotic, and it was hard to keep that Hogger from going wild. All right then, we'll see a map pick shortly, probably, eventually. All right then, we are going to Cursed Hollow, Game 2. Sylvanas' build was Relentless combined with the percent damage talent at 1. Okay. Alright, there's a start. Anyways, I am going to update the bit. I'm pretty certain I'm right about this. Okay. Anyways, I am waiting on Lobby 2. It looks like we're going to Crystal Hollow, and I believe... Wait, who am I coin tossing again? Thank goodness. Thank you, Grits, for clarifying. All right then. Random task. If you ever want to cook cast, that is definitely something that I enjoy doing. I may have an unhealthy addiction with this game. Maybe. Probably. I have far too many people watching and judging my decision making. That is horrifying. Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the game. It was absolutely a blast, to say the least. They really played a good game on both sides, but it just came down to who managed to do structure damage first and who managed to do it harder. And in that respect, Babies on Board really managed to push it out harder. Cavalier is supposed to have the hat because I clearly know how to do this. Alright, alright. Maybe I shouldn't take lobby creation as well. Ah, I feel bad for both of these teams. Like, they've got a pretty epic they've got a pretty epic lineup, and they're doing an amazing game. And I am... It's like, this is a freaking amazing cut of meat, and I am doing it well done. That is how I feel right now, to be honest. Alright then. Cursed Hollow, as brought to you by the side of Baby on Board. I have not seen either team play on this map. So, we shall see. I think it's probably a good feeling for the Babies on Board, because I believe that's their first game win of the season. Definitely, it's probably needed for morale. After what are they? I completely forget the name of the team, but dang, LTK, I believe. They had a really strong showing last night. And I knew I forgot something. I completely forgot to update the draft UI. We are actually in the draft, and Tracer and Sonya have been banned. Elixia, that is a Sonya ban to put pressure on Elixia, and that is a Tracer ban to seal off Mockery's power. Otherwise, he would probably end the world. These are very different drafting strategies. Running Wild is trying to harm and reduce the strongest player, probably, on the side of Baby on Board, where Baby on Board is trying to reduce what could be considered the weakest player on Running Wild. Hogger first pick. That is very interesting. I expect that we will see Stukov plus Tahaka. If I see anything else, I will be pleasantly surprised. Porky taking Zeratul and Brightwing. Alright then. So, no Stukov. It's entirely something that can be just snatched up on the side of Running Wild here. But the question is, do they want to do that against Zeratul? What is going to stop Porky from absolutely showing off this game when it gets to the late game? This could be very unusual. Alright, we have the Tychus being taken blind. Absolute confidence there. And we have a Muradin pick. It's an interesting combination. It feels to me like the Tychus pick is a counter pick over being taken for pure confidence. And Muradin is going to have a tough time, especially into Zeratul and Brightwing, champions that are highly mobile and will make it very difficult to pinpoint accurate hit storm bolts. Stukov is banned out. Any hopes that they had of taking that are now gone. And let's see here. What else do we have? A Nubarak ban. That, at the very least, makes it easier for Tychus. It feels very much like these bans are reactive from last game, rather than being part of some kind of stalkerish scouting report. The Haka pick comes out, and Mockery's Hanzo is in play now. I think, in spite of it all, I would love to see a Diablo main tank out of Crushinator here. Maybe on board could probably get away with it, even though there's a Tychus in play. APOC Storm Arrow is an amazing combination, and so far,
victory for the Forsaken.
Running Wild doesn't have an answer to it. And where are we at now? Crushinator is now making a decision. What tank do we bring into play? Johanna's gone and Nubarak's gone. Diablo is spooky into Tychus and Sylvanas. We shall see in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stitches!
Stitches want to play.
I do not feel good for Mockery this game, but I do not feel good for anyone on Running Wild. This is going to be brutal for them. The Brightwing pick seems to have been intended to pair with the Stitches, which I find remarkable. Alright. While we're wasting time on that, we have a few things to look at. The transition. Remember, this is game 2 of potentially 3. One more point, and that is match point for Baby on Board. Running Wild is going to have to claw desperately against a Zeratul and a Stitches. This could be a very spooky series. Wait, what? There we go. Only took me about 5 seconds to actually update the board. Alright then.
The battle begins.
Kyle, we've got Brightwing, Cavalier Guest, we have Dahaka, Mockery on Hanzo, Rushinator on Stitches,
5,
Porky on Zeratul,
4, 3.
Cairo on Muradin, Grits on Hogger, Executive on Lucio, Elixir on Tychus, and Bird on Sylvanas. They swapped back in the middle of the draft. Hold sneaky on me. Kairu has the block, and Have Negative Fun has been wished by Mockery. Porky is just standing there menacingly, and the wave clear begins. Alright, let's take a peek at the talents. It is Redemption build out of Mockery. It is Q build out of Zeratul. And we are looking at a Q build out of Sylvanas and a W, or at least a grenade build out of Tychus. This looks like a self-sustained build, Journeyman Cookie, out of Grits, and a Celaranda, which I have no idea what it does. Alright, as Zul said, we've got a great pun in chat. Apparently, when Mockery is toxic, it is so moxic. I love it. It is absolutely fantastic. Alright, looks like second wave clear is pretty dominant here. Crushinator's showing up in lane. Cavalier is positioning opposite of the curse, as it should, and we already have Hogger doing camps. The spin isn't going to go infinite, I don't think. It's going to be tense. Seems to be an invade coming. Both teams are doing camps according to the proper macro, and Verd may get picked out by Porky here. We shall see. All it takes is one mistake, and Porky will snatch up the kill. Oh, there's the poly, and Verd just dies to the last move. Absolutely brutal. Now they're proceeding on to their Bruiser camp, or they're proceeding to clear. Not sure which yet. Same time, they're just getting free value because there's no one in that lane. Well, Elixia's coming down, but Crushinator doesn't really want that to happen. Augur is holding the camp, waiting for objective. An odd choice, but likely one was going to work out. Because Sylvanas ended up dead, there was no push done, and this camp was completely neutralized. Porky is rapidly clearing, and Elixir has managed to just finish off the camp here.
Hero.
Looks like we have an invade call. There is a Dahaka coming into that push. They are going to get punished for this play, unless the Hogger starts spinning. The Hogger spins at random. Grits is going to drop here. Bird kills the Cavalier and Mockery for good measure. Nope. Yes, and he dies from tower. Big Seapog. What an invade! 2 for 3? And yeah, that just happened. But with that fast return, it's looking like this very well could just... No, Pyro comes in with the stall. But there is no Skullcracker yet. Probably a good time to show talents. It's Master Assassin. Stitch's Quick Tenderizer. It's Lurker Strain. Ignore all distractions. It's Continuation of Cubo. And Reverberation. That is an unusual talent. Brute Force as well. And we have 7s. To the side. Melting Point. Reverse Amp. And Garbage Flyer. Oh, Bird is trading in to Porky like a maniac. And they're looking to push his 3 here. Kairu's successfully stalling, and they're just going to get the towers, even though their Bruiser Camp did nothing with them. And there it is again, that absolutely wild teleportation onto the Zeratul. Completely uncounterable. It is an absolutely brutal combination that they are going to score more kills with in this game. Unless Running Wild gets wise to it. The Hawk is burrowing in, and Porky is skirmishing. Kairu does not have a guaranteed chance of getting out of here. Crushinator is moving in, trying to reduce the movement speed, and the hook should come out in a second. They never did. As things are, random task, yeah, as you said, it looks even now, but it's not just Zeratul who's going to be trouble late game, but also Stitches. Like, I very much am of the suspicion that Baby on Board is going to take this off of late game scaling, but we shall see. Here we go again. Polymorphed, and Bird is just going to drop like that. This combination is absolutely brutal, and was clearly planned from the... Whoa. Good pick on their part. Never in my wildest dreams could I see that happen. And we've got Towers doing MVP work. Al Ferguson is doing work on this Brightwing. He and Porky are timing this out well. Alright, from alts, we have Gorge, Isolation, Dragon Zero, Void Prism. Most of these are fairly conventional. They just instantly started that boss. There's going to be no similar counterplay from the side of Running Wild. This boss will not be done by the time they finish it off. So this is potentially, if they don't get off this boss, it's looking like a double boss play on the side of Baby on Board. This match could be over in 10 minutes. There's no Avatar out of play, so it is highly possible that absolutely nothing is going to get on this point. Arrow does not land. 4-man stun. Porky disappeared. Dahaka's next. Bird is still alive. The boss is up. Mockery gets out, but Tarask is next. It looks like Mockery's next. That's a 5-man kill. That was a 5-man kill on what could have been an easy clap invade, but really wasn't. It just happened that way. Now these bosses are going to trade evenly. There's not much they can do here, but with Sylvanas and that wave, it's virtually guaranteed that this force falls. The question is whether these guys are going to overstay their welcome. Kairu can't be picked here. Gorge is still on a 10-second cooldown. Likely going to be able to run away. And the next tribute is on their side of the map. And they're likely going to have priority on their camps. Just like that, Running Wild has put themselves into a position where it is very possible for them to win out. Alright, we have 13 picks coming out for the side of Running Wild. All together. Pummel again. Windrunner. We're going to see some Crazy Bird and Bronzebeard Rage. Tychus is going to pick eventually, I swear. Come on, man. Come on, Alexia.
I grow
You can do it.
tired of your petty squabbling.
They're going to be on their Bruiser. The onus is on Baby on Board to seriously look for a pick here before this tribute spawns. It's going to be difficult for them. Smart thing to do would be to wildly hook away and just do something. Kairu steps up. The Crushinator is not having it. This is not delicious food for him. And full-on Grit isolates Crushinator. Oh, and the stun just comes out at the right time. Kairu doesn't want to go in completely. And Vert is calling for the siege camp. This is a very good tool for them right now.
My curse upon
Yeah, like,
you.
that boss invade is going to be so pivotal. And Mockery's next. He's just going to drop here. There's no escape. Well, oh no, this is unfortunate. Mockery makes it away with 70 HP. And there it is, a 3-man Void Prism, and Bird is almost certainly not going to make it out of here alive. Oh, the stun comes in to clear, and it's looking like somebody's going to die. Gord desperately used, and Wrath is getting tower dove off. There's no way that either of them are going to get killed because they went in, and now they're going to get punished for it. Kairu lands the stun on Porky, but he just doesn't die. All in all, this is good news for Running Wild that they've managed to distract them away from a relevant lane. This is going to take a lot of damage before Porky cleans up the mess.
Has destroyed
As it is, those deaths were fairly meaningless. They maintain their level lead,
enough.
and they have a 2 catapult advantage now.
I hope you made the most of it.
Oh my word. Oh my word. The greed that is just happening. Unfortunately for Running Wild, they're just out of things to do. We see Meat Hook, Primal Swarm. Primal Swarm is a huge amplification, especially for the other 2 DPS. Fleetfoot, and Shroud of Doom. Question is, what's the next move? Both the bosses are still there for another 20 seconds. They're going to only just get 16, maybe slightly before, maybe even after if this lane freeze that they're doing. Uh-oh. Crushinator is not caught. Oh, the anti-synergy. There's the eat, and Crushinator is down. That is the pain of Stitches, and that is why I believe that Meat Hook is an invalid talent. Because here's the thing, so what if you have that healing? If you're caught out of Stitches, you have no self-heal, you have no escape, you're just gonna die. Alright, we see Pulverize, Fairly Conventional, Tritterize. There's so much armor reduction on the side of Baby on board. Tunneling Claws, Giant Slayer, we've got percent damage as well. Void Slash. Everything's fairly conventional from this point on. It's looking like this is a free buff inside of Running Wild. They might even go crazy and invade the Bruiser camp. Ooh. Oh, that's a thing, apparently. Let's just hit everyone and take down the towns. They might just go for a second boss here, which leaves Baby on board with a seriously difficult choice to make. Clear the boss, or clear the boss. Like, don't get me wrong. Running Wild is still on borrowed time. They need to end this out before 20. If this goes any longer, it's very unlikely that they're going to manage to win. They should look to catch someone off guard here. Oh, and they don't go for it. Unfortunate. Crushinator is just hovering on the edge of engagement range. And they've decided for it. They're going to try. Arrow only catches Skyrim. Isolation hits the Tychus. Executive is just going to make it out alive. Grits survives. Crushinator manages to get a pick on C10 Vert, but the stuns come out at the perfect time to negate the follow through, but they still go. Double root, but it doesn't look like they see it. Grits is probably going to die here once the Porky sees it. There it is, there it is. And now, Mockery's going to clear this out fairly free, and this is likely going to be another inflection point in this game. It is very realistic that this is going to go to the side of Baby on Board from this point on. Hook barely misses, Core is completely undamaged, and there's a curse coming. And it's coming for Baby on Board. Yeah. Tyrion pick is weird. Judgment is easy to cleanse, though not necessarily with a Brightwing. And Salvation, it's not that great all that often. But for Sanctified Ground, for like the impassable terrain, maybe you can get away with it and justify it. Maybe so you can amplify the Tychus, but it's a weird style that minimizes your ability to do crowd control. Alright, looks like they're giving up the curse. They are happy to wait for 20. Grits is likely going to get hooked here. There it is. Christianator is gone. If they follow it, they are adding themselves to the meat pile. And now, once again, the levels have a serious change in pace. With that hook, it is very realistic that on the side of Running Wild, they're just going to have to hunker down and sort of cry. Oh, you meant like instead of the Stitches? I was thinking like with the tier, instead of the Muradin. Like, nah, Stitches is a fine pick here. Because Zeratul doesn't need no peeling. And Mockery has shown himself so far to be reasonably good at positioning. Yeah. Like, Christianator is single-handedly turns just off of that one hook. Like, this is a hard position to be in Running Wild. If they take this fight here, they will almost certainly lose. But if they don't, they're going to have to take a curse and sacrifice the advantage that has carried them this far into the late game. Let's take a look at the kill spread. It is entirely concentrated on Bird and Grits. It appears to be extremely intentional as strategies go, with the Zeratul Brightwing ganks that are absolutely steamrolling here. And Grits in with the body block. 4-man arrow. Silence. And Kyle Ferguson disappears. There's the spin. Porky's going to die as well. That is 3 people dead. Odin is still up. There is no excuse. It is a win for Running Wild. Just like that. Just like that.
Red team's core is under attack.
I mean, doubled. On the subject of it, I don't think either team actually manages to get any value out of the material, if I'm being completely honest. Oh my word. Cavalier is stalling things out here. But it's not going to be enough. This core is dead before we see a thing. Not even Brightwing gets to respawn. That is GG. Alright, let's update that. And we are on to game number 3. Hot dang. I get to use all of my stars this game. Yeah, like a lot of people are mentioning the B-Wing ports. They are absolutely one of the reasons why Verd had 6 deaths when I don't think Kairu died a single time. I think that may have been an intentional choice on the side of Baby on Board to try to target out a mechanically strong player. It was brutal. But they managed to tough it out. They managed to beat the trends of scaling, and they managed to snatch victory. All right, it looks like it's going to be third pick on the side of Running Wild. They're going to get to pick the last map. Where are we dropping, Kairu? Honestly, yeah, like Tough Beans, Kairu, Crushinator really had a hard time positioning effectively as a tank in that game. It's rough because Stitches fundamentally does not play for zone denial at all. Like, I think Crushinator was playing Stitches too much as a conventional tank. And I am getting flamed out! Because I may have dropped the Nexus game. Okay. Actually, yeah. Justin, when we running wild, bro? Oh, God. I'm getting shamed by my team for skipping out on Nexomania. But I wanted to cast this doubleheader because I really enjoy watching these teams play. All right, we're going to Shrines next. Tournament draft. No match history. And it's Team 2. All right, then. Swap team. Swap team. Set captain. Let's update the board. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Honestly, they had the Hanzo. I think they could have just gotten away. Yeah, goodbye. Alright, so executive needs to be swapped teams. And now we are just waiting on our good friend, what's his name? Porky. There he is. There he is. I am going for a water break. We'll be back. Hydration acquired. Ready when you are. Okay. We get some strategizing on both sides. They're both really thinking it out. Cavalier is planning his next compositional war crime upon the enemy. And Running Wild, I don't know what they're talking about, but they've got a problem. Oh, apparently we have an AFK on the side of Baby on board. Oh boy. Got 30 concurrent viewers. 30 people watching me screwing up casting royally. That's pretty horrifying. Alright, we are going into game number 3 of our 3-part series.
Infernal shrines.
Alright then. Yeah. I'm definitely not someone who can do throat singing. Any kind of extended vocalizations, continuous. Oh, who am I kidding? I shot call. I'm lying. But there is so much going on between these two teams. They are forces of chaos. They are urgent properties rather than just simply a subsection of the population. See a Grey Mane ban coming first out. That is very different than what we've seen before. There could be a reason behind it. And Kairu is, as always, left with the question of, do we ban Tracer? And Mockery's horrific machine of death has been sealed away for another day. Maybe next time, maybe. Alright, do we see the Sonya ban again? Are they going to sharpen up and try a different strategy? Are they going to let Elixia offlane? Or? Oh, there's the Stukov ban. Now, Running Wild is left with a choice. If we ban either Stukov, either Johanna or Rhaegar, we are guaranteeing that they get the other pick and we get nothing. This means the rational thing for Kairu to do in this position is to ban something other than those two heroes. But I am at a loss for words for what it should be. Oh, Hogger. That would be the most rational thing, I think. Tychus? That is bold, and we may actually see a Hogger first pick. Because the prospects just became that good. This just became a three-way choice between Hogger, Johanna, and Rhaegar. There's the Hogger. Now, do we see the Rhaegar as well? There it is.
Fight to my last breath.
That Tychus ban was a bold play that fundamentally shifted the draft into the favor of running wild. This is going to be difficult. There's the Leoric. And there's the Falstad. Now the question is, what do you do with those heroes? You have Gust, you have Entomb, you have Falling Sword. You have 3 of the most powerful late game ultimate upgrades out there. So the question is, how do you build a team comp around those? Do we see something unorthodox? Maybe a Junkrat? Second pick advantage feels good, man. Yes, that is exactly right, Zool Rules. That is exactly the situation we're dealing with here. Alright, it appears that the Brightwing actually traumatized them enough that they don't want to see Zeratul Brightwing again. That's pretty crazy. We see a Diablo ban. That is unusual at this stage. What are they afraid of with that? It might just simply be a running off the clock ban, but what could Diablo counter in that lineup? Oh. There's the Sylvanas again. Verd just taking what's tried and tested. And Kyra's bringing out the Murden again. It's a Sergeant Hammer Deckard comp. Okay. Okay. Now I understand why they banned Diablo. It all makes sense now. Wow. Oh, I did not update the standings right now, Breakwood. My apologies. I'm going to add that to the bingo list of failures and mistakes that has happened in this stream. The standing is 1-1 right now. We are neck and neck between these two teams for whoever takes home the money. Also, we actually have the Chromie counterpick on Elixia as the last pick of the game. This is going to be interesting. Alright. See you all in the loading, in the draft, in the game. Wow. Wow, I am totally bombing so much of this. Ah, this is wonderful. This is truly wonderful. Anyways. There are 32 of you out there judging me right now. I feel honored. Anyways, we are in. We have Mockery taking the hammer. Porky taking the Falstad. Another draft switcheroo. Darask is on the Deckard. Shield Glare Johanna, very conventional tank build. Leoric. We've got C10 Verd on the Sylvanas again. Alexia on the Chromie. Mr. Executive on the Rigger. Kyru taking that block again. Gonna be a strong power force. And full on Grits on Hogger. This is going to be a point fight to point fight. And I think the edge is going to be decided by the decision-making of Porky and how he utilizes his global. We have Ambush. Okay then. We've got Stealth Tank. Zealous Glare. Absolutely necessary. Frequent Flyer. Standard Totem build. Same build that our friend Mr. Grits went last time. And we have a Q build, Chromie. That hammer's just sitting there, helping create lane priority, and Falstad flew bottom to just speed up the clear. And meanwhile, Crushinator's getting in the way, trying to blind people, misses. And Kyra's skirmishing. Verd and Porky are skirmishing. And Elixia just about gets the kill. Oh my word! This is going to be an intense game. We already see double token starting. Porky's helping to reinforce that. It means that Cavalier is left in a position where he can force Grits back to lane. They're going to have someone catch this soap, or they are going to be in serious advantage. But if Kairu shows here, they might just drop and invade, but they have hammers, so they're not going to invade. Am I kidding? They're actually managing to get the camp faster on the side of Running Wild, and they are proceeding towards the center. Dealing a bit of damage to Porky as they can, and they're not quite starting the camp, but they are getting ready for it. Porky's caught. Porky may drop here. Nope. Porky manages to fly away. But it's looking like they're going to get this camp, and it's looking like they're also dropping a little bit of soak that Grits is going to have to catch for them. But unlikely that Cruciator is going to be able to make it a successful force into this. That is the one problem of a hammer comp. Their ability to force engages is much worse than their ability to fight them off. This is going to be a difficult situation for Grits. He is going to have to handle 2 lanes. Looks like he is getting reinforcements, but the call for him to rotate topside was not made. There is topside soak that will be lost. And we've got people just taking Tarask down just like that. And with that, we've got first blood, I believe. It goes to Kairu. Alright, let's take a look at level 4 talents. Paralyzing Rage. Hold your ground. That surprises me a little bit, but I'm not judging. Ruby. Hammer gains. We have Possession again, and Brute Force. As well as that Reverberation. This is going to be a tricky bit. I don't know quite what's going on here, but it looked like Porky was on the verge of CPOG into the enemy Shaman. And it looks like they're going to have a camp on Running Wild. This is exactly what you need when 2 teams are coming to fight each other straight on point. The advantage that they're going to get on the split push is going to make this very difficult. If Hogger feels like he has to spin in order to win this, they're going to have to send either Verd or Elixir top. And they're electing to do it with Verd, and Verd could very well get caught out here. Hogger spin, breaks, and the Verd is caught. Verd is worth it, apparently. Kairu jumping out. Lost instantly. It looks like they're going to win this, but at what cost? How much more damage is this going to do? It's all a question of whether they can get those last singular points. That last singular point. It's absolutely crucial that they get that before it's too late. Because they're going to have to, at minimum, take the gate in order to have made this worth it. Shouldn't be too hard. They have Sylvanas after all. That is likely going to be their advantage in this. In this battle between Shrine Pushers, it's quite possible that having better push in response is going to be the big difference maker. But Grits is getting pushed, and they could lose a fort just to a fall stat splitting off. It's also important to note that Grits is being put through the ringer. He is having to cast multiple lanes, and the fact that he hasn't died yet is nothing short of a miracle. Bird is the Verd. Yeah, the Chromie is absolutely an uncomfortable pick for Alexia, but I think she's holding it up like a champ. We also have Time Loop. And what else? Ults are going to be coming up imminently. I'm expecting that we're going to see Falling Sword, allowing Mockery to hold his ground for absolute centuries. This camp is taken, which will reinforce the catapult advantage on the side of Running Wild. Kairu's potentially going to flank out Porky. Porky only has the one escape. Porky's smart with his positioning. It's very possible that he's not going to get caught out. By simply marching, Porky has evaded again. Never even had to press E. Absolutely remarkable there. And we have the ults. Fairly conventional so far. The question is, are we going to see a BFG on the side of Hammer? And is Decker going to give us Lornados? We are seeing the BFG! The BFG! The Slayer has the BFG, guys! There's the kill, and there's the sleep, and oh my word, Kyrie walks into the sleep, there's the stun, and there's the BFG! It just rips into them, and Elixia turns into colored rain! Oh my word, what did I just watch? Oh my word! What did I just watch? That has got to be clipped. That has got to be clipped, man. Anyways, I probably should take these talents down. Let's take a look at some things. Let's see here. Soak? Yeah, the Hogger is getting pushed out. That is what I was expecting. Part of why we're seeing that deficit. Like, part of it is the hero kills. There is a huge amount coming out from minions. And that's just due to the sheer amount of pressure the Hogger's been put through. It's the problem with the Hogger comp that has Hogger as the solo laner. Oh, sleep and falling shorter down. The question is, does Grits live? Grits goes in instead of another BFG kill, and there goes the rest. It looks like Porky's next on the chopping block. Nope, timing wasn't quite there. The question is, can Cairo land a stun? The answer is, Cairo doesn't even have a stun, so it's a question that's irrelevant. Cavalier Guest is back in the field, and without Hogger, this could be a much more even push. Cavalier Guest is coming up and making problems. But they're still getting good shrine clear. The only problem is they're down 13, and a lot of these are really good talents. Oh, screens off the action. That's one more thing to add to the bingo. And the Hogger spin. It's dark, but he is getting Leoric, and he is about to get BFG. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. No? BFG doesn't come out because it's on cooldown, because I can't keep track of everything that's going on right now. There's the stun. The Cavalier dies, and so does Porky. This is looking like it's going to go to the side of running wild now. They have an incredibly dominant situation just off of the shrine. They are meeting strength with strength, and they are surpassing it. Absolutely remarkable. And there's nobody here to bait it, so this Frozen Punisher should be able to go all the way to the keep. Just a matter of them not letting it get baited into doing some stupid stuff. This is actually really interesting to see here. So next time you're playing on Infernal Shrines, remember, you can always bait the Punisher to the walls if you know the fort is going to die. They've completely negated it just by sacrificing their fort. Everybody should and is able to adapt this strategy into their Infernal Shrine rotation. This is something new to me, and I think it's something that everybody should emulate. If you have the team composition that, you know, can make the Punisher run that far. It's really nifty, and yeah, they managed to keep their losses at a minimum. Whoops. They're taking their camp, and the next one is topside. The sheer amount of pressure here, Mockery's just... I think Mockery is just letting this lane crash here, and they're freaking freezing the lane. Either that, or Mockery's just talking to his donators. I think Mockery is currently looking for the BFG. Bird is just going in, and uh-oh. Porky lives. Gust is used. Arrow is used. Well, this is a 4v5. Mockery is still vibing. Black Arrows was used. But now the situation is fairly even. They got tower. for virtually nothing. Now the question is, what do they do? Do they invade the camp? Looks like Running Wild is opting to invade the camp. They're looking to put every bit of pressure they possibly can. They have 6 games on them. That includes everything from Stone Form, Fast Forward, Life Drain, and whatever Earthgrass Totem does. I still haven't read Rhaegar's talents, if I'm being totally honest. Question is, here comes the Black Arrows. If they can take this short here without getting nuked, that's unlikely though. Johanna's got Holy Renewal, Crushing Hope in play, safety in numbers, makes Deckard much harder target to dive, which is what's happening right now. Porky is on bird. Uh-oh. Oh, and Kairu lands the stun. Porky is going to drop Kairu and the minion. This is a 1-for-1 trade. Cavalier gets his neck. Verd escapes from sleep. And there goes Kyle. Crushinator is slow. There's a chance that he gets stunned here, and that is going to be rough. They can take towers here. With another Wailing Arrow, well, another Black Arrows, they have the capacity to just, yeah. It's gonna be hard. Like, this next defense is going to determine it all. This one goes almost always to Running Wild, because Johanna's still dead for another 6 seconds. But Mr. Executive needs to watch out here. Once the vision vanishes, he's going to need to be careful that he doesn't get hit by a surprise in 2. But now it's looking like Porky's going for the soap, going to split up, going to try to deal with that 6 catapult disadvantage. Well, 3 catapult disadvantage, I don't know why. And they just go in! Porky's back in line, Kairu dies. Kairu just barely escaped. Porky is now isolated, but he's over the wall, and there's another BFG. Kairu just persists in and lands double stun. These have been pinpoint this entire game. And it looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Nope, Kairu just makes it out, and it becomes a 2-for-1 trade. Wow. Unfortunate. Oh, Mockery just catches that, but he's going to hit, and he got caught. That's really bad. The double stun on that wall. Gritz can't quite kill it just together, but that kill on Mockery could fundamentally change how this defense is approached. This is going to be brutal, because there's a very real risk of Running Wild hitting 20 before this thing kills the keep. It's just a little bit more. Passive XP could bring it to the edge, and after that, you have Rewind from Muradin and the double Ancestral Heal and no control. The only saving grace is that Sylvanas isn't here and push. And they baited over the wall, but it's coming back. Or not. Well, they did it! We're seeing some really high-level manipulation plays on this Immortal. That might be it. That might just give them enough time to make it to 20 without losing the game. They bought themselves the time they need. And Bird just goes in! They lose their healer, Crushinator's there, and they have 20s now. Some of which are not alts. That's Gus down. And that's Cavalier down. Or not. Question becomes, can they end? And I just added another thing to bingo. Whoops. Brilliant. Like, I clearly know these controls. And people die while I'm finagling with these things that I forgot to do. Just for the record, everyone, this is on the line. Right here and now. And they can't do it. Entomb misses, but Deckard is coming back. They're going to have to back out, and for their trouble, they only gain one more catapult of advantage. Now the question becomes, can the 4 katas of advantage that they have carry them to the win? We have level 1 talents just dropping. Burning Despair instead of Buried Alive. Respect the Elderly as asleep. Ultra Capacitators. I don't even know what hammer talents do, to be honest. This is a surprise, though. This is a dangerous play. There's a danger pin coming out. They are being told this could potentially backfire. And we shall see if it does. I think they see. And I think they can get it and then run away. Oh, so spooked they almost left it behind. Kairu, the moment they see a threat, just runs. Because that's how down to the wire this could potentially become. They are looking for a bruiser camp. They are looking to nullify any sort of advantage. Kairu just showed on vision. This could go very, very wrong. And Kushinator just barely escapes. They're not willing to make that invade risk. Looks like Cavalier Guest is just going to walk away, having really not taken any damage. It's going to be difficult. I believe this is a Mortar Punisher that we're dealing with. And I think the most appropriate play for running wild is to go all in. I really do. It's going to be tough. Up against these talents, they just need one more win. Doom misses out. Gritz cancels it. Falstad is in play. And this is going to be a deeply difficult situation. Kairu's got caught out. Kairu backs out with the E. Another 10 seconds before anything major happens. They're just trading over monkeys. And here it is. Gritz goes in. And as there it is. Several ults used. Kairu getting blasted. And they're going on a mockery. Just barely misses the stun. And the sleep misses. There's a 4-man silence. They're immortal, but nobody has died yet, except for perhaps Cavalier. Alexia's trapped in a wall, and there just makes it out, Crushamator, with 80 HP. And it's a Frozen Punisher, I was wrong. I can't read the signs. Now it's just a matter of Kairu following up on this thing, or going in and making their own engage. I believe we are looking at a reverse sweep. Hot damn. Hot damn. Calcutta, I guess you missed all your 20s. I guess you missed all your alts. Your 20s aren't that good. But yeah. That's all it came down to. Just like that. One team fight. Well. Good. Don't know if we're going to do interviews. Don't really care. Either way. I'm gobsmacked. That was an intense series. And let's just say this. Running wild? They ran wild and they ran out of the cage of Cavalier Guests Test site. Yeah. Good news for everybody. If you want to see more games like that, this is a doubleheader. We will be going up against, I believe it is Running Wild versus Cat Daddies next. Although technically it's Cat Daddies versus Running Wild because this time Cat Daddies is home team. So, you know. There is going to be another series in, I believe, an hour. Frankly, I have not done nearly as much research on Cat Daddies as I have on either of these two teams. So I will be going in as blind as most of you guys. And gals, I think. I believe this match starts in half an hour, in fact. So stick tight. I'm going to be mindlessly editing this right here, right now. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Poof. 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 All right then. We shall be vibing. In messages. The cats. Shall take the place. Right. Ah. Did I just move? That belongs there. God, this is such a dumb way to do it. Ah, God. This is going to be a bingo of pain. But, yeah. I am going to nearly completely catch the bingo. I am looking at the victory screen right now. Okay. That should do the trick for that. Oh, yeah, so this also needs to be updated. This is such a dumb way to do it. I am embarrassed by it, but what are we gonna do? I'm not attuned with the software yet. But yeah, that should be everything. Alright. I have no idea. Just for the record, everybody, you have about, I believe, 30 minutes before the next match starts. So if you're looking to do anything, now would be the best time to do it. As Calirel, yep, Running Wild and Cat Daddies are going to be squaring off again. This is going to be one hell of a doubleheader. 30 minutes before the next match starts. So if you're looking to do anything, now would be the best time to do it. Anyways, I'm going to mute me mic as Calirel, yep, Running Wild. Okay, Calirel, you deserve a slap on the wrist for that remark. You really deserve a slap on the wrist for that remark. All right. I am going to be doing a bit of a post-game summary, bit of a thought, Mobile, while we're considering this next match that Running Wild is going to go into. Their second opponents, Cad Daddies, are a relatively dark horse for me. They've been steadily climbing the ranks of the divisions, and they appear to have a wide roster of players that they can choose from. They are going to be likely a difficult opponent to scout, but it'll be uncertain how strong their coordination will be. Now, if I were in the position of Cad Daddies, there are a few things that I'd take away and look at seriously when going up against Running Wild. Number one is the prominence of Verd as a hyper carry and the willingness of the team to still execute Sylvanas trades. Running Wild remains a squad that has extreme, what I would like to call erratic focus, in that no individual player on the team is particularly strongly coordinating or otherwise possessing of near supernatural game sense. But as a unit, they find, suss out, and seek win conditions with a level of efficiency that is incredibly rare. Part of what makes this magic work is the Sylvanas. They've favored that in drafting, even though they've swapped up the rules as we've seen of in the last game. So, there's a couple of options that Cats can do if they were watching and observing. One of those elements is that they could see and test and probe Kairu's overall roster of tanks. See how far that goes. See how flexible it is. See how much choking, for lack of a better word, Kairu can handle. How wide is that roster? How deep can you go? Another option is to see how much can we do to make sure that Verd doesn't get to pop off. They are incredibly good at making sure that Verd can implement whatever attack strategy he wants to do at any given moment. What would it be like if Verd wasn't on the table, though, due to the comp design? We saw a little bit of that in game number 3 with the... No, game number 2 with the Brightwing Zeratul gank squad. But it's still uncertain whether or not
Hello.
that actually works.
Howdy.
All right, the coin toss is done, and the map bands are picked. I may have made a mistake in here. I needed to have them repeated to me twice. So, we shall see. The map pick is still unknown. It's... The coin went to Cad Daddies, I believe, or at the very least, map pick went to Running Wild. Okay, let me see here. Okay, all the transitions are good. All right then. Shouldn't take too much longer. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm totally not anxious. Here we go. Where are we dropping, boys? Where are we dropping? Wait. Oh no! Who won coin? Do having... Okay. Okay, okay. I wasn't insane, but we are going back to Cursed Hollow for game 1. And this is going to be another wild sequence. All right. It's interesting to note that Running Wild, in taking out Volskaya and Braxis, has changed up their banning strategies, probably to tailor towards the team. It indicates a degree of research that's being done. Sky Temple and Dragonshire were both taken out by Cad Daddies. We just saw a Sky Temple game. That decision might have been influenced by the cast. It also just simply could be that the team dislikes Sky Temple and Dragonshire. All right, it's all on Running Wild now. That is all we need to see, bit by bit.
Cursed
All right, we are
Hollow.
in the draft. Let us begin. Means I have to keep my attention on the screen now. We have the same squad, and we have Krazen! Grayson, my buddy! Yuji, Shupaf, Magnetic, and Graz. Grayson is, by all means, an excellent player. Oh! And they're coming in strong on the side of Cad Daddies with a Stuka ban. It looks to me like they're potentially posturing to try to force a Johanna Rhaegar ban. Both of those could be absolutely excellent champions. Hey, you gonna update in 10 seconds? Alright. Johanna's banned out. That is sort of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting to see a Rhaegar ban as well. After that, though, this ban right here is going to be into the unknown. I do not know what is about to happen. Do they take out the Sylvanas and limit the strength? Or do they start probing for weaknesses in Kairu's tank pool? Or do they do something entirely? There it is! There's the Sylvanas ban. Now we see the full range of Verd's ability. What else can he play? How will Running Wild handle themselves when they don't have their primary means of pushing the advantage? This is a pick that is incredibly common in Running Wild games, and we may not be able to see anything like it. Alright, there's the Rhaegar ban, as expected. Whew.
Ready for action!
There it is. They are actually putting into practice both possible countermeasures. They are trying to see what they can do to limit Kairu's pool, and they are trying to limit the strength of Running Wild. Got distracted, and where were we? Hogger took taken immediately, and Lucio. That is an interesting first pick for healers. It leaves them plenty of range to adapt and flex their DPS. It's also possible that they're on the back foot right now. They're thinking of what do we take instead of Sylvanas? How do we compensate for the loss of that tool? And we see a Zul'jin pick, followed by a Malfurion. This may be an attempt at a power pick. Zul'jin is one of the champions that can escape Malfurion roots very easily with the right ability at level 4. And a Malfurion pick. We could see some very interesting things here. Zul'jin is fraught with limitations, though. His scaling is very dependent, and if he doesn't go scaling, and he goes for Q build, he will be very reliant on a narrow and short skill shot. Greymane taken out, the pool of possible carries limited even further. Choice of a generalist tank right off the bat, especially one that handles auto attacks, is really smart. Here comes Tychus and a Nubarak. They are looking to go for a tank killer against Grayson. Make those block talents moot. Combine that with the Lucio, and Grayson is likely going to have to swap onto Third Wind here. We're already seeing with every draft that fundamentally players are going to have to react in different ways and change up their talents accordingly. Now here comes the full completion of Cad Daddies' comp. What is it going to be? Sonya in the off lane? And Gul'dan. Those are some very off-meta picks that are going to be really interesting. Arkloff mentions that the root cleanse puts you right to sleep. Yeah, sure, that is a thing, but here's the major advantage to that. The moment you do that, that means that the enemy team mistimes around the sleep and is likely to break it early.
I serve.
And C10 Verb brings out the Zeratul. This is a pick that he is notorious for in Storm League and has hyper carried with. It is very realistic that Gul'dan or Malfurion are going to have to hold their ultimates for this whole game, desperately hoping to make sure that that Zeratul doesn't descend on them. And we're off to the races. Also, Ark, how did the Nexomania go again? Vendetta. And how much tongue wagging am I going to have to deal with, and how much crow am I going to have to eat for, goofing up and just sort of picking this over Nexomania. Ooh, we got some serious profile synergy. All right. Here we go. Magnetic on Sonya, Shupuff on Zul'jin, UG on Malfurion, Grex on the Gul'dan, and Krazen on Muradin. You've got Verd on Zeratul, Executive on Lucio, Grix on Hogger, Kairu on Anubarak, and Elixia on a very manly Tychus who is just posing.
The battle begins in 10 seconds. 5.
Okay, that's good to hear, man.
3, 2, 1.
And I do hope you have a good night's rest.
Well, what are you waiting for?
All right, then. It's very tense early on. Offlanders are already looking to move. And Krazen's already checking the bush. Kairu walks right in and has to burrow charge instantly. Give me 1 second. Nope. Problem solved. Wasn't a big deal. All right. We have one in the chat betting on Running Wild's draft here. I, too, like Running Wild's draft here. I think their late game scaling is potentially better, especially given the context. Also, I just realized we control Shift S. Yay! That's supposed to be on the board for everybody, so But we haven't hit the first win yet. Nothing particularly special is going on. Also, for talents, it is perfect storm out of Krazen! My dude, just because you've seen me take that talent doesn't mean that you should. He is sitting on 0 stacks with it right now. He is definitely looking to play Krazen. We've got Recklessness, so max scaling and W builds. Nothing particularly special. We've got Beetle builds and Shadow Hunter. What else do we need to... They're starting both their camps early here. These two are taking damage for us. It looks to me like Grits is going to be able to clear this quickly. And the question is, how is Shupuff doing on those stacks? Not at all. Oh, right, I can actually just check them that way for y'all. No need to press tab. No need to cover up the whole screen. Things to learn, things to do right. Looks like they're just going to crash first. Elixia is already starting on the clear. We are seeing a whole lot of talents being brought to the forefront. That is Psionic Strength. It's going to be the scary build. Better Barbs will help with the initiation. And wow. Troll's Blood. And Health Funnel. These are some really interesting picks. I don't know how to play Gul'dan at this level. I don't even know how you talent for him. Verd is trading into Krazen. Krazen has 3 stacks. He is potentially going to deal that extra bit of damage. Verd doesn't so much dodge the spear, but just disease in a way that is so brazen that the magnetic couldn't even anticipate it. And these beetles are doing work already. But it looks like Elixia is being brought for pick. An absolute peel from Mr. Executive. Kairu's also putting on the peel. Elixia is going to get out with not more than 40% HP lost. That is good terms for a very surprising Muradin jump. Elixia was getting into the gank books position, but the rest of the team wasn't quite there to follow up for it. And Yuji's already starting the channel, so better barbs placed out, and another engage is used. If they want to stall this out, it's up to Elixia or to Verd. Next one will have to be on Mr. Executive, if this is going to continue. Executive goes in. The stall will continue. It is Zul'jin laning against Bricks, and there's still more picking, more looks for it. This is absolutely what Running Wild wants to do here. The longer they stall, the better. Fortunately, it looks like that's the end. But they are one step closer to Zeratul popping off. Bit by bit, they're going to get closer and closer. Alright, probably a good time to get sevens. Full gank on grass. It's Sledgehammer, it's fairly standard build. Again, it's a reverberation. I don't quite understand the obsession with the talent, but okay. Arcanite Axes. That's wild. True Beetle build, Melting Point, and Warp Skirmisher. It's looking like it's going to be that build.
Draws first blood.
Whoa. That's pretty impressive.
See who gathers enough tribute this time.
Appears this Zul'jin knows his stuff. How many stacks did he get out of that whole exchange? He is not stacking badly. And not only that, with Troll's Blood, it seems like Zul'jin is actually capable of being a pseudo offlaner. That is a remarkable set of decisions. Getting a little cheese, and they are starting an invade. This shouldn't work for them, but just gets caught. Big hunger value, and now it's being all turned on them. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Christianator. I committed a cardinal sin of casting there. We actually were just having a chat about that. But yeah, that was unfortunate. It was anticipated. Kairu got in the face. Brits did the damage. And now they're pushing 10. Pushing bot side and really putting on the pressure. This game is entirely in Running Wild's pace right now. And that's a 4 off of the 10 advantage.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Brits just barely sneaks away. And it looks like Zeratul is on the prowl. Kairu is taking a long rotation. It's going to be late by about 5 seconds. And Vert is starting to trade into Shoe Puff. And they are going at each other. Meanwhile, the rest of them were stalled on rotation there. Really quite remarkable. In theory, Running Wild is more than capable of forcing a boss out right now. Just a matter of timing and control. The alts outside are Leap, Amani Rage, Horrify, and Avatar. Fairly conventional set. Tranquility is the only one that surprises me. Vert is being tower dunked on, and Magnetic is caught. Unfortunate. Now Kairu is coming in. That is an amazing cocoon. It is going to force the team to stick around, but it's likely Amani Rage is about to be popped here. Hogger looking to do that body blocking again. It is likely that Hogger is about to die here. Shoe Puff still hasn't popped the ult. There it is. He is going to turn, and he is not going to die. Oh my word. Cad Daddies just completely reversed the situation, and then the situation reversed again with 2 more picks. Oh my word. Oh my word. They're starting that boss, and they're going to hold the tribute. This is the best possible situation for them. This combination could be enough to force out a keep in the next minute. Is actually that potentially insane. That boss is going to have tribute with it unless they push in right now. They don't have time to do their own boss. And Running Wild is free to play in a myriad of different ways. It is looking like they are starting an invade or they're starting boss. Not sure which. Looks like they just barely managed an fail on the invade, and oh, Magnetic is getting attacked by Bird. Bird is bursting down, and Leap is forced, but it's not enough. Magnetic might just still die here. This is their core. Cocoon comes out and completely shuts down any potential pick. Gritz is taking heavy fire, but he is going to spin his way out. That boss is at full health, and it is still pressing. Running Wild, all they have to do in order to take a keep is just stalemate here. That is all they need. This Bruiser Camp does save the mid fort, but it doesn't matter. Running Wild could potentially do the bot side boss here. It's all a matter of how they want to approach it. The risk is minimum to them, but they can simply just do their camps. No matter what they do right now, there is no way to prevent this keep from falling. Absolutely not. And it lives. Okay. Color me a liar. That's what I am. Big fat liar. This is slamming and bashing. And they're looking to posture. Looking to take control of the boss space. And they're looking to eventually pressure. 16s are coming out, up the frequency. Kablooey. And Epicenter. So it begins. Bird just turns that portable Dan into nothingness. Into the void. And oh my word, that is a 3-man leap. Majestic drops. Everybody's blocked in. Zul'jin's still in it. It's going to be a 3 for 2. Maybe a little worse if Elixir gets caught out. They can't do boss from that position, but they can potentially do the keep. It's all a matter of how long this Odin lasts. Prazen is looking to punish, as is the Zul'jin. Probably best for them to get out of dock, and Elixir is gone. Just smacked. This build is only going to get stronger, especially once the shields come in. Turtle may not die like that again. In the meantime, Gritz is getting out alive, and he managed to take a fort for his efforts. The catapult advantage is now up to 2. It is going to be extremely difficult for Cad Daddies to pull off a win here. This boss play has the risk of getting scouted out. They're not anchoring it, but he could buy them some time. It's all they need. Time to stabilize. And that's another 2 catapults added to the formula. Puts the catapult advantage up to 4 for the side of Running Wild. But with this boss, that may go back down to 3. It's actually going to be difficult for Running Wild to defend this. One of the problems with their comm is that they just don't have the same kind of DPS potential. Elixir gets caught out. Elixir surviving so much damage. Mr. Executive drops. Verd and Grit just decimate the back line with Master Warpblade into Bluey. That is rough. Oh, they're holding the bush, but there's no way. I don't think these two can kill Vert if they take that fight. Vert is just waiting for Grayson to get isolated. He just used his. How many teleports does he have? I swear, every time I see a Zero play, I always get surprised. Actually wild. See here? They're looking to take that fight. Oh! Just barely manages to escape the impale. Probably wasn't a kill at all, but now there's a serious problem. Running Wild is on the verge of 20, and
Shall we see
all
who
it
gathers enough
takes
tribute this time?
from there on in, a little bit more malpositioning. They are posturing around, and that is a dead Grax. Unless a Fear lands. So much is happening right now that it is impossible for me to follow. Cairo barely walks away. Magnetic jumped on the back line, and Verd did the same. Like, it's rough. The Sonya is doing their best, but Sonya is not a fully power auto attack build Zeratul. Wait, he's still going? Yeah, that's game one. Just like that. One gigantic fight. Really smart posturing on the side of Running Wild back when they were here. It allowed them to get the Zeratul flank rather than just sort of passively baiting around the boss. They suggested the boss, and they put Cat Daddies in, hook, line, and sinker. All right. Time to update the scores. Okay. OBS, you will obey me. I'm your master. First win goes to the side of Running Wild. That was a Zeratul hypercarry. And a disgusting one at that. Oh my word. Oh my word. Check. Potential is. I find it funny. We got Undercats here on the side of Cat Daddies, and we've got Overdogs on the side of Running Wild. This is, honestly, the exact opposite narrative that I portrayed in the last game. That was a rough situation for Cat Daddies. They're going to need to figure out how to keep Verd in check. More than anything, it's going to be rough. Anyways, Arcloth, you won the bet about the draft. Of course, we didn't make a bet. We kind of both saw the trajectory that was laid out by that draft. Now it just comes to a question. Is Cat Daddies capable of constructing a team comp that can actually take on the well-machined and well-oiled apparatus of Running Wild? Will they manage to do it with off meta picks, Or will they manage to do it with something interesting? Thanks. Thank you, Cairo, as always. Running Wild, our red friends over here, have brought us to Infernal Shrines. They are taking us out to the classics, and they are on the verge of potentially just doing a clean sweep. Question is, can the Cad Daddies break the inbound hogger? How are they going to handle and control this? Do they have a method? I would stop them in the tracks for this map. Oh, right there. All right, Kester ready? I am going to live. All right, so it begins.
Infernal Shrines.
And I tried the transition and it did not work. Did not work. Oh. Oh, for the latecomers. Just a reminder, everybody. We are looking at a win on the side of Running Wild. The only option now for victory for gentlemen on the side of Cad Daddies is a reverse sweep. They are going to have to fight to the teeth to keep in this match. Alright. Here comes the band choice. There's the Sylvanas again. I don't blame them. Now the options show up for Running Wild. Do they ban out the Hogger? Do they ban out the Rhaegar? Can they let Cat Daddies take the Hogger? Will Cat Daddies take the Hogger? All of these are questions that could have been answered in scouting, and we shall see if they're going to be answered in scouting. Instead, they opt for Junkrat. This means that basically automatically, there it is. There's the Hogger. Now the question is this. How much has Running Wild learned from the last game? Did they notice the stress that they were putting on Grits? Do they want to put him through that again? Will he be put through that again? At the very least, they're taking the Tychus here and now to make sure that the Hogger functions. The question is if they will give any macro support to the Hogger, or if Grits will be expected to be an everyman who does basically all the macro in all of the major PvPs. Krazen breaking out the May. I love the skin. And Brightwing. Wonder what the goal is with that set. Now here comes several band choices. And there goes the Leoric. That's an interesting choice. And Lucio. Executive clearly gave them a lot of frustration. Those Helping Hounds were very good last game.
Ready for action.
Now Kyrie takes the Meriden. And the Annalyn. We might see Dwarf Ball in this game. It is something I have theorized is technically possible, but Meridian's lethargic nature on his jump and its stoppability has often made him a poor life bomb target. At least his jump is a poor life bomb target. If Krazen plays it right, he can use his E to negate Meridian's E in time. That is a Thrall offlane.
Wait is over.
That is lower on the wave clear, higher on the percent damage, and Cassia. Potentially a high synergy pick with May with Snowblind. And alongside the Junkrat and the May, other than Hogger, Cad Daddies has created a team that is very capable of preventing penetration into a zone of protection. Elixia breaking out the Tracer! This is something that we could not see last series because Mockery was a thing. But now it appears that Mockery has stolen Elixia's account. And we are going to see some potentially stylish plays. Tracer is one of those champions that can potentially just ignore May's engage potential. That is a potential counterpick. The only limitation that I see for the composition on the side of Running Wild is the fact that they are very reliant on Odin for siege, much like last game. Except to a higher extreme because they don't have the Workmaster DPS for core rushes. They're going to be very reliant on objectives, just like last season, like last match. So it's going to be tricky for them. Tracer's also not going to have much fun trying to gank Thrall. Thrall is likely very sedentary. It means that Shoepuff is likely going to be highly responsible for the mid lane on the side of our individuals. Wait. Cat Daddies. Anyways, Magnetic on Thrall, Yuji on Brightwing, Krazen on May, Shoepuff on Junkrat, and Graz on Cassia. Bird on Tychus, Kairu on Muradin, Lixia on Tracer, Executive on Anduin, and Grits bringing out the Hogger again. This may very well be the last set of series where we will see him get Hogger. It may just end up being completely banned out. Kairu disengaging. Getting healed up full. And there comes the Blizzard. Already. Relative dominance in wave clear showing Grits just nearly completely disappeared. Oh! There they are. The Junkrat mines. Bird just... No, he does not make it out. That Junkrat mine is impressive. What a blistering start. And they don't necessarily have any reason to slow down. Elixia being forced out of wave. Cannot clear this. That Snowblind is landing on a blinking Tracer. That's a level of accuracy very few tanks can actually attain. I am not one of those tanks. And they're already starting their camp, but they've already... Shoot Puff, you troll. You slowed it out. Wait, was that intentional? It's already starting the siege now. Like, there's already an invade going on. Ice block been used. Elixia's out and double fend into slow, and they're both gone. Grits is here, but no guarantee that he can make this work. That spin is improvised. Somehow Magnetic beat him on rotation. That is remarkable. It's 4 kills for 2 minutes. We have Tracer rounds, so reveal effects. We have the Polymorph, which is going to make Tracer's life miserable. And we're looking at that percent damage Thrall build. Post 7, it's going to start hitting. Blow him up. One of those classic talents. And from Bird, we have Cold Front and Heavy Pack. Holy moly, I look away for a second and they've already started another siege. Pressure is really on there, and May is exploiting her superior range. Those blocks are not lasting long. If he had taken Slush Ball over Cold Front, he wouldn't be dead right now. I understand, I am a believer in the one true May cult of Slush Ball. It is probably the most budget Sylvanas to ever budget. Like, if you're subsisting upon a diet of ramen, you can still afford May as a budget Sylvanas. But with this combination, if he takes the other one at 7, he will have access to a really strong physical armor build that will allow him to tower dive as many times as he wants. Brazen is in a good spot here. Oh. Time to update this. There we go. That should have been done way too long. Wait, what? What? But I swapped. No! No! Why? Why is it like this? How long has it been like that? No! Oh, what a tragedy. I have been a radio host for the last 4 minutes. What a disaster. Thank you, Sturge. And Big Nick Guff. My apologies. Oh. All I can say is, tonight I am getting bingo when it comes to my own mistakes. Ugh. That is really tragic. Worst part is with 30-second delay, they're gonna miss out on a lot. Apologies, everyone. Again. Alright, we've got a serious push going here. I'm pretty certain Kairu streamed the last 4 or 5 minutes. Odds are, if you want to see what happened, I highly recommend checking out the streams, the POV streams that are active right now. If there are any. I really hope there are. Because we've missed out on some stuff. Anyways, that's a thing that happened. Okay. And we've got an invade incoming, and it's looking great. Sort of the expected May build, and the Christmas Ball build, both of which are going to be quite aggressive. Skirmish is fairly inconclusive. Ice Wall manages to catch Vianuan off guard. It's uncertain whether they're going to be able to. Ooh, here. For Executives in a bad way, but Wall misses the Earth Thunder, and Wall is killed before this any time. But for all of this vicious skirmishing, they managed to take it out. They managed to get that off board. It's gonna matter next time. Light Bomb hasn't taken a hit yet, and Elixia goes down at the same time as Cassia. Cassia being Graz. And there's a Light Bomb pick. We might see Dwarf Bomb. Bird is getting jumped on like crazy. Is realistic. Oh, just barely is going to make it out, probably. Get in the bush? No. Oh, the bush comes too late. He had run through here. He might have been able to make it out. Just. Oh, wait. Right. Does my cursor actually show? It doesn't, does it? Oh, well. Live and learn. Oh, another fight starts again. And altar drops. Nothing dies. Brazen is caught in the heart. Just barely makes it out. The Brightwing is going to go down instead. Bird just catches it. Executive catches the root. Graz is potentially going down here. And the Junkrat Mine with Kairu in a bad way, but immediately jumps out. It is quite possible that Running Wild is totally back in it. Maze. Ice Block just takes out that. Shoe Puff just barely dodges the Storm Bolts. Verd is busy clearing. Right now, it is a Q Catapult disadvantage to the favor of Cad Daddies. And Shoe Pup barely uses the mine to escape. Yes, he's already engaging, and Kairu is going to disappear here. Elixir just gets disappeared. Unalive, and Executive is next. This is likely going to be another fort down in the favor of Cad Daddies. Catapult lead is going to be increasingly compounded. They're looking to get value elsewhere, but this camp will die quickly. It's quite possible that they might consider 39ing it here just as these camps get out, just so they can put on the pressure. As for talents, nothing particularly major, although I do find the choice of Flurry to be interesting. Other than that, it is fairly bog standard for most of these champions. So far, Thrall's actually managing to outsoak Griffs, if it's just by pure skill participation. Oh, we're seeing it again.
Ice wall coming up.
It's the baits into the key. This is really quite impressive. I don't know if Running Wild was capable of doing this as the start of tonight's matches, but they are capable now. Elixia is going to have to lead most of the team on Benny Hills. Oh. Executive is totally caught out, and the spin begins. Ooh, there goes Cassia. Just barely a one-for-one trade. Whew. The options right now aren't great, but it's likely that both teams will be drawn into the fight for this. Oh, the route into the blizzard, absolutely massive. Magnetic and Crazen are really doing well, and Crazen is body blocking shit out of Bird. Bird might actually die just because he got body blocked. Yuji's going in, looking for the kills, and fortunately, it looks like that Blizzard isn't able to connect on anything. There is no slide to follow up on it. As it is right now, Cad Daddies has themselves a very clear 3-cat advantage. And they're looking to invade. Elixia is anchoring, but Elixia is not a Muradin. So there is no stopping them from rushing it down. That's one more problem that they're going to have to deal with before this next objective starts. Those catapults are going to be a huge problem. Alright, we've got 16 talents coming out for both sides. You have Criterize, Double Leap, Ricochet, Stoneform, the Bluey, and Armor Piercing rounds again. And there's a skirmish developing again. Comes to damage lineup. It appears that... Oh, this is going to keep going. It's Junkrat. Ahead and tails, even above Bird. Grits might just be able to catch people off here, and there's the light bulb. Hits 3 people. Elixia, you have to get out of the way. Yuchi drops, grabs his neck. Crazen is probably also going to go here. That is the turn that Running Wild needed. It's going to get some siege out with the Odin, and then probably proceed to objective. Shay getting value. And Kairu clearing it out. Therein lies the problem. That was a decisive victory. And they're respawning now. But with all of that, they only get 20 before they recollect, and it's looking like they're planning on just throwing the mines out and doing as much structure damage as possible. Now, Running Wild's facing a choice. If they want to get base raced, they can get base raced. But they will never win this exchange without some measure of defense. In theory, it should be possible for Cad Daddies to just report this. But they've blanched probably too soon, and are now going to have to defend their keep. Good to have those towers down top, bot side though. It'll matter eventually if this goes through another Punisher. That ice wall doesn't hit anything, but it certainly prevents. It's a whiff. Sorry, crazy. It's a whiff. Ooh. That bomb is still there. That light bomb. That spin. That spin combination is crazy, and there goes another one. It looks like Grassley's also going to fall here. Bird just barely makes it out alive. And Running Wild can go, if not core. Oh my word. There's no Odin for 20 seconds though. And that wave clears essentially there. Ooh, Elixia gets rooted with that. Back to even, bitch. This is remarkable. In a single set, a single rotation of a Punisher, Running Wild has equalized the catapult advantage. Now the question becomes, is it more valuable to have one catapult in each lane? Or 3 in 1. I'd like to believe it's 3 in 1. But you could also make a distinct argument that Running Wild has to occupy and cover more space in order to stabilize the bot 2 lanes. Alright, probably gonna see it with the 20s. Secret stash. So recalling. Ooh. Oh. Yuji just ate it. And a 45 fight, no, just turned completely. Strong ice wall, it was your sort of standard, wait, huh, big one. Well, I'm wrong. I thought the vulnerability was from that, but it was probably from Crew Rise. However, still a problem for Running Wild. It can't quite seem to close it out just yet. Junkrat's got both ultimates now. This is upgrade. They'll likely be able to... Oh, that is very good. It boosts the camp in, but that also extends the range of its Kairos and just run it in. This is anybody's game now. Except it's going to be really tense for Cad Daddies, as too many of them have died. Too close to the objective. It's likely that this is just in the hands of Running Wild now. Unless, oh Moyo. Elixia dancing with death right there. Well, Grits putting on the pressure in other side lanes. This is seriously what they need. It solves their problems. Cat Daddies aren't careful. There's a very real chance of them just ending top lane if they get a few good picks. Ice Wall doesn't catch anyone per se. Tanks are going in a bit too far though. Magnetic is forced to use his Bolt of the Storm. And Verd is pushing out with a big red button Odin. This keep is down, and just like that, the Catapult favor shifts to 3 in the favor of Running Wild. Man, I am I was at a loss for words. That was... Oh! Oh! He's gonna die. That was a remarkable engagement. The follow-up just wasn't there yet. Bird has a lot of heals. Executive gets caught by the Sunder. This root hits. That could be it. Big one whip. Bird or someone else has to die. If our individuals on Cad Daddies want to turn this around. Almost. Who's unlikely to die here thanks to rewind. It's all a question now of whether or not they can get that last kick that they need. Without it, they are incapable of marching on core. Graz is chasing Elixia down, which means it's likely that everybody will make it out on the side of Running Wild. Give Verd time to clear off bot side, and it means that there is very little that Cad Daddies can do to reverse this situation. It's going to be tough for them. But this is in their favor. The lane they had softened up and prepared bot side is also the lane this potentially final Punisher is going to be in. It's still anyone's game. All it takes is one good engage. Are they trying to backdoor? Appears that plan has disappeared. They've been scouted out. But if they are forced into a fight here, it's potentially that they're going to lose the keep just to creep alone. Look, it's like they're already hearthing back. And Kairu's engaging. This is going to forfeit the keep. Ritz hits a mine. And Sunder's used. It's entirely possible that Kairu is going to just block here. Yuji is being picked out again. And Odin is used. This is brutal. Graz disappears before the bend happened, and Elixia drops off screen. These are winions. All it takes for Counterside is to hold them off for just a little bit longer, and they can potentially win out on the core. They're going to have to run Bird down, and they're going to have to try their damn hardest. Core's at 40%. 30%. Ritz dies. All on whether or not Bird can do the damage. And GG. Whew. All right. That about wraps everything up. That makes 2 wins on the side of Running Wilds. Apologies, everybody, for the, shall we say, problematic refusal on my part to switch to a scene that's actually pleasurable to view. That was a big oversight on my part, but I hope the rest of the match made up for it. It was a close call, but Running Wild squeaks out the 2-0. Anyways. I hope everybody has a good night. I think it's time for me to wrap up.